Broadcasting live from the Joy 106.3 FM studios, it's the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show with the Gridiron Gang. Fellas, let's flip the switch and do this.
Very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. I'd like to welcome my co-hosts, as usual, Mr. Ralph Smith and Mr. Larry Wesley, and we'll probably have Mr. Jerry Bill joining us here pretty soon. Welcome, guys. As always, Ralph, how's your week going, brother?
Well, you know, I'm not having a very good week because we let one get away from us. We let a very winnable game get away from us, and I was sort of disappointed, but I'm okay now. I'm back, ready for the next one.
You're back, huh, Ralph?
I'm back.
Is there? And I just have to ask. You know, I care about you, man. You're one of my brothers.
Sure, you do.
What brought you back, man?
Good information. Just good information. I'm not free to divulge that, but it was good information.
It was great information.
Yeah, it was great information.
Good. Believable information?
Believable.
Okay.
Not something I read off the internet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Wesley, how's it going, sir?
Good evening. Very well. Just loving the interaction between you and Brother Ralph when y'all come back from these football games.
It's lovely. Isn't it?
I know it is.
It
But
is lovely.
yeah, we were all hanging by a thread, hoping, praying, and pulling for the Wildcats, and we'll get a chance to develop that. But I tell you what, guys, we left an indelible mark. They know we're not the pushovers we were, and there's brighter days ahead. We'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about that. But tough football game, but we gave a good account of ourselves.
Definitely a tough football game. And like you said, we'll cover it a little later. But, you know, as myself and all of us guys say, we don't come in here for moral victories.
Exactly.
You know, a winnable game, even with the circumstances we were under. But even with the circumstances we're under, you still gotta, you know, do your best to pull those games out. But you know, turnovers and things of that nature don't help in that.
No.
But we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. That'll take us right into our SWAC week recap. Before I get started, fans, share the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Share with all your friends, family. Then we'll give you time to sound off about 9:10. We want to hear from you. 386-868-3411, 386-868-3411. We hope our guests tonight will inspire you to keep on striving and keep on pushing these guys. So, off to the SWAC week recap. First off, Arkansas Pine Bluff goes to Alabama A&M. Final score of that game: Alabama A&M 31, Arkansas Pine Bluff 24. Quincy Casey throws for 328 yards in that contest for Alabama A&M. Any surprises?
You know, I always wondered what happened to Quincy.
I always knew.
But did he left Jackson State
And went there.
But he didn't play against us last year.
No. He was not the guy last year, but he was there.
He was on the team, but he didn't play.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And I wonder why, because, I mean,
well, they were running.
You watched the game during the, what was it, spring?
Mm-hmm.
The spring 2020 or what have you, whenever the SWAC played. He did well for Jackson State.
He did. He did.
Played very well through the football. Very well.
Yeah.
But I just wondered why he didn't start for them last year, because basically they ran the ball just about every play, though.
Right.
Yeah.
The takeaway for me is the fact that very much like Bethune-Cookman and our new head coach, Arkansas Pine Bluff is on to something. They lost in a heartbreaker the week before to Tennessee State in the John Merritt Classic. And then they had every opportunity to tie this football game up the other night against Alabama A&M.
Yep.
Had the ball inside the 5 and didn't get it in. It would have been in overtime. So they're building something, and they're young. A lot of freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Those guys coach together, Coach Woody and Coach Hampton at Florida State. Coach Hampton was on the defensive side of the ball there also at Florida State. So
He's laying the foundation.
oh yeah, definitely. Mississippi Valley State goes to North Carolina Central. Central wins that game going away 45-3 over Mississippi Valley. Next up, Texas Southern and Grambling. Our homecoming foe that we have to face, Texas Southern. Final score of that game, Grambling 35, Texas Southern 23.
We're waiting word from the SWAC, more particularly from Texas Southern about Andrew Body. He was supposed to announce today on the internet about his plans, but if you read between the lines, it sounds as though
he's going to hit the portal.
He's going to opt out. He'll have 2 years of eligibility.
He's going to hit the portal.
Yes, that's what it sounds like, and that's the age we're living right now, guys.
Exactly.
We live in that age where kids have a lot of mobility about themselves.
Definitely so. Alabama State goes to FAMU. Final score of that game, FAMU 23, Alabama State 10. And then a little fracas at the end of that game, and hopefully that's been squared away over there at Alabama State.
Listening to the comments on the coach's call-in show this week, the conference call-in show, this is becoming a heated rivalry. And if you take the words of Coach Houston from Bama State, he says it's not going to be a rivalry till we beat these guys. We should have beat them last year, and we played well enough in the game, to kind of, give a good account of ourselves. There's a certain edge about those two teams when they play. It's the referees need to get together early on and often, and kind of correct that, because that kind of stuff can get. I'm not just talking about the players, with the fans of both teams as well. There's a lot of components there that could get out away from you in a heartbeat.
But last year, if you remember correctly, when Grambling was at Florida A&M, fans came down and was sitting on Grambling's bench. So I guess my point is, I think A&M got to do a little bit better police in that area, because it's a little bit too close to the fans.
Yeah,
the team. Yeah,
the team is a little bit too close.
It's
and I don't think they. I can't speak for them, but I don't think they want to do anything about it, because
that's a possibility.
I think that's in their own way of looking at the competitive edge. I always really get concerned when fans get too close to the activity in the world we live in right now, because people are in their feelings so much, and things can just blow up in a heartbeat.
And that's what happened to that kid at Alabama State.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But very interesting comments on the part of Coach Houston today, and you can tell we know what happened with him and Dion last year, and how that kind of blew up at homecoming. So keep an eye on that rivalry. We go to play them in a week, and so we'll be going in there as well.
Yeah.
Prairie View versus Alcorn. Final score of that game: Prairie View 23, Alcorn 20.
I called that one, and Reggie Thomas, assistant commissioner for the SWAC, he said, "I don't think that's going to happen that way." I said, "I really think it is." And so it was a very, very, very physical football game. Watched the comments of both coaches. A line of scrimmage game, and Prairie View acquitted themselves rather very well, both defensively, offensively, meeting the physicality of Alcorn. And Alcorn plays this week, guys, against who else? Bama State.
Really?
In Bama State,
Interesting.
And finally, our Wildcats go to Jackson State. Final score of that game: Jackson State 22, Bethune-Cookman 16. As we said earlier, we will cover that game in its entirety here shortly. Moving right along to our Pro First Sports Management SWAC week schedule and rankings. Tuskegee goes to Alabama A&M. Tuskegee takes their 4-0 record into Alabama A&M. 3 p.m. kickoff there in Huntsville, Alabama.
Every time I see those two schools, I automatically think SIAC.
Right.
Back in our days, those were that was a rivalry game.
And I think it's homecoming for
It
Alabama.
it is.
A&M.
It is. It
I
is.
just saw they sold
It,
the game.
it is. It is.
Then Lincoln, California versus Lincoln from California against Texas Southern. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff there in Houston.
Homecoming for TSU also.
Southern goes to Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's a 5 p.m. kickoff there in Pine Bluff. Alcorn State goes and plays Alabama State. 6 p.m. kickoff there in Montgomery. FAMU goes to Mississippi Valley. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff in Itta Bena. Grambling goes to Prairie View, 7 p.m. kickoff in the Cotton Bowl. And
That's the Texas State Fair Classic.
Yeah, that's exactly
Right.
right. That's exactly right.
Should be a good ball game.
Always is.
Definitely so. Now to our FCS computer rankings. Of course, our Wildcats are off, so that's a well-needed off week. Our FCS computer rankings. FAMU comes in at number 13. They were previously number 19. Jackson State comes in at 29. They were previously 38. Grambling State comes in at 69, previously 92. Southern comes in at 77, previously 79. Alabama A&M comes in at 78. They were previously 86. Our Wildcats come in at 81. We were previously 67. Alabama State comes in at 83. They were previously 83. Texas Southern comes in at 91. They were previously 73. Prairie View A&M 93, previously 100. Alcorn State, previously number 70. They came in at 100. Arkansas Pine Bluff 105, previously 95. And Mississippi Valley State comes in at 128. They were previously 126. So those are our FCS computer rankings. As far as our football standings, in the East, FAMU is number 1, 2-0 in the conference, 3-1 overall. Jackson State 1-1 conference, 3-2 overall. Alabama A&M 1-1 conference, 2-2 overall. Alabama State 0-1 in conference, 1-2 overall. Our Wildcats come in 0-1 in conference, 1-3 overall. And Mississippi Valley State comes in no losses, no wins in the conference, and 0-3 overall. In the West, Prairie View comes in at 2-0 in the conference, 2-2 overall. Grambling State 1-0 in the conference, 2-2 overall. And then Southern comes in at 1-0 conference overall, 1-2. Alcorn State 0-1 conference, 1-3 overall. Arkansas Pine Bluff 0-1 conference, 1-3 overall. Texas Southern rounds it out in the West, 0-2 conference, 0-4 overall. So that wraps up our SWAC recap. Proceeding right along to a point in time where I know Mr. Smith. I'll back up. I won't get Ralph started yet. I won't get him started yet.
Hey,
Larry,
I'm completely calm, actually.
I know. 100 years. Larry, you got anything for us?
Well, it's
Special thing, though,
kind
man.
of hard to watching the game and then trying to anticipate what you two guys were talking about during the game, and that was quite a task. But we laid this game out last week, and we had some keys to victory and what have you. And I guess for me, the thing that concerned me the most about the game was the area that we did the best in, and that was our defensive efficiency.
Right.
I was concerned about how the defense would hold up, but they were spot on. They played a great football game and actually kept us in the football game. And we just found some ways to create some self-inflicted wounds. I didn't think we would do that, but in football, it's turnovers are a deadly sin.
Deadly.
And they can change a game on a turn, and that's essentially what happened in this regard, because without our assistance and our benevolency toward giving Jackson State the football, I don't know. This may be a different outcome, guys.
Well, in that particular game, now Jackson State fans stopped booing their quarterback.
Yeah.
Because our defense wasn't. I think he maybe got 88 yards passing.
Yeah.
We got a ways to go, but I think we're a lot closer than most people think.
Just real quick before we go into that, some big things happening. One huge thing happening on campus. Finally able to
practice.
Yeah.
On the field.
On the turf field this morning. They went out there. And
did they this morning?
They went out there this morning and got it in. We're actually showing the picture right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Moving forward.
Got it in before the rain came in?
Got it in before the rain came in, and looks great. Looks great. There's been comments galore for, against, but it's all in helping us be a better program. That's what it's about. It's about helping us be a better program. No, at this time, we're not going to build a stadium on campus.
I tell you, when we put it in gear, we go fast, don't we? Our wish list.
On any turf field, there's going to be injuries. So yes, it is turf, but in a plus, we do have a grass field also that's ready to go.
But really, everywhere we play, with the exception we went to Miami, everybody have.
Where do we practice at right now?
Yeah, but you're going to play on that too.
On field turf.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So.
What else? What else did we read? Real quick on our recap. It's what we needed. It cuts down on a lot of travel time.
That's definitely saved you some time.
And convenience.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to get on buses to head out to the stadium. You can walk out the door and get to practice, and
it's something we needed.
Now, someone asked, I thought I read a post about someone inquiring about whether there would be some security, some fencing around it.
The fence is already there.
They have a temporary fence.
Temporary fence there now.
So
good.
You can't get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's well on the way, and, like we say, it's definitely
improvement.
Definitely heading in the right direction. I know Coach is happy. Very happy. And the players. They were excited to get out there and finally, not have to travel 20 minutes to practice.
20 is great, more like 30 by the time you get through that traffic.
That traffic,
Right.
Yeah, because that's pretty busy out 92,
Yeah.
to get there. So that's great.
So that's just some of the things happening on campus, and, looking forward to phase 2.
That is so great. Early this morning. Now, how are they getting around this? Are these practices occurring before classes start?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, and then they aren't going to practice again. It's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is an off week.
Right.
So
I
they-
was just wondering about the morning.
Roughly 6
Yeah.
a.m.
Okay.
Yeah. It was still dark this morning.
Okay, good.
It was still dark this morning. So, hello, Miss Lodge. How's it going? Welcome to the show. Welcome everyone to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Glad to have everyone. All right. Let's go to Jackson, Mississippi.
Do we have to?
We gotta go.
All right.
We gotta go.
Okay.
You get to leave though.
Yeah.
You get to come back home. Maybe late on Sunday, but you get to come back home. So, driving into Jackson, we get there early Saturday morning. Check into the hotel, and of course you run into all kind of Jackson State fans on the airplane, in the airport, and just
And all they were saying, we're going to hang 80 on you.
Offensive explosion.
Offensive explosion. There's nothing y'all can do about it, really. They thought they was playing last year Bethune-Cookman team. They didn't realize this is a new regime here. Different attitude, different everything. But anyway, it was interesting. Again, we still left there with a L.
Let's go from start to finish, guys. So, great atmosphere coming to Veterans Memorial Stadium on Saturday evening, 6 p.m. kickoff. I guess all their fans were told to wear red, and there was a multitude of their fans on the home side. I guess what the official number was 23,000 something.
Way below the 52 they claimed they were going to have.
definitely.
But anyway, I'm just saying.
Hey guys, you can sit anywhere down there.
That's what they do.
Reserve section, wherever. So our Wildcats go into that game, go up 9-8 into halftime. We're maintaining the game. Fans are very, very, very quiet in the stadium. Very quiet.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, very, very unusual. We had our chatterbox friends behind us and in front of us, and just crazy atmosphere, but good atmosphere. Like I said, we go into halftime 9-8. We are, for the most part, clicking on all cylinders. Come back second half, Jackson State goes up. There's one play that we just can't get our hands on the guy over to the left side of the line.
Well, you got to remember now, I know the play you're referring to, but for that game, our defense gave up 260 yards.
Right, on the ground.
On the ground.
And less than 100 in pass.
88, to be sure. It was 88 yards.
Well, we took the same approach if you really think about it. Now, and hear me clearly. We're talking coaching here.
84.
The question is this:
80.
Whether you're talking HBCU football or big time football, pick your poison. Are you going to make teams be patient playing you by playing a too high safety and defending the up top routes,
right?
Or are you going to go ahead and challenge them and allow them to throw the football?
Right.
The reason that I believe that Jackson had no rhythm, they were looking for shot plays and they couldn't get it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that took them and their fans out of the rhythm of the game.
Yes.
It took a lot of the explosion away. There was
Of course
not
it did.
that explosion that they spoke of. It was whenever they needed something, it was the comeback pass over to Peppers, the wide receiver, or it was the zone read.
The zone read counter they were running. That was those were the two bread and butters.
Plays,
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the two plays. And we made them pay for one with the interception over there. And even though they gained 200 something yards, it was usually on a third down that that play was going to come.
Yeah.
Well, what we're essentially talking about, even though it's a football game, it doesn't get mentioned this much in football. It's more mentioned in basketball. There was no rhythm for them. They never got into a flow of anything, and that stagnated much.
Yeah.
They had yardage, But what was our philosophy anyway? Bend but don't break.
Bend but don't break. Yeah.
Right.
And we played tough.
Of course we did.
When it was time for us to play tough. I mean, if the score is 9-8 at half, we was apparently doing something right.
I got a question posed over here. We're going to talk about the refs. I mean, that's a part of the game, and we know that's going to occur. Yeah, there were some bad spots. There were some things that were questionable. But, when you're on the road, you got to overcome those things.
Well, not only that, when you're on the road, let's understand the psyche of things. When you are not considered a good team,
right?
When you're a low feeder, you're not going to get those calls. So you got to go in and change the narrative,
right,
and win those games.
Right.
You can't let them be in doubt.
Right.
Because you're not going to get those calls.
Can't let it be close.
No, you can't let them be close.
No, you can't let it be close.
Can't let it be
But
once you start winning some of those, you may get the call.
You might, right.
Now, what I've been hearing on the internet, and it's untrue, they were questioning Coach why he didn't ask for a replay on that one particular play, but he did. He was halfway out on the field and got waved off. He was trying to get a replay, but the head referee waved him off.
What a lot of people don't see is that, yes, that was a TV game.
Yeah.
But the replay official walked on the field and said, roll it. And when that happens, there's no buzz down. There's nothing like that. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. What was not done that possibly should have been done in that game was the measurements on the 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
There should have been
a
measurements.
Guys, it's just like you were playing a money game, okay? You're not going to get
those calls.
You're not going to get any of that you're asking for.
But
because they had it set up, and I'm not talking about the fixes in. Right. I'm saying they had it set up that anything questionable probably wasn't going to go our way.
No. And let's just say most of the bad spots and everything wasn't on our side of the field. Yeah. And it's just,
like that old boy was cross-sided on the left-hand side, on their side.
Yeah.
Because he made all the spots.
You talking about the one that the coach was in his ear?
Yeah. He made all the spots.
Yeah.
But again,
we had our opportunities.
We kind of gave them those opportunities now, because when it was time to get the 1 yard,
right,
we didn't get the 1 yard. We should have made
2 to 3 chances.
Yeah, we should have made it where it wasn't a question.
Right,
but it can't be in doubt.
Yeah, but we just right now don't have the offensive consistency.
Right. Yeah.
Where we can consistently do what we do. We just don't have it right now.
And a lot of that's because of injuries and what have you. And we came out of that. This off week was
a blessing. Was a blessing. I mean, we had 3 running backs crippled. Yeah. It wasn't a good week for us. But
again, to keep the game as close as we did. But when you're already faced with on the road, as both of you guys have mentioned, on the road, you can't fumble the ball in critical situations.
Can't leave any doubt. Yeah. We had 2 very critical fumbles.
We did.
I mean, on the kickoff, we know this girl can't kick the ball but 10, 15 yards. We playing deep, and then our short man, who's a sure-handed guy, a receiver, missed the kick. And instead of just falling on the ball, he's trying to pick it up. That didn't help us. It just didn't help us.
The fumble occurred, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. I mean, it was a good hit by the guy. He stuck his shoulder right on the ball.
No, that was a running back fumble.
Running back.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm talking about the kickoff.
No, I know which one you're talking about. I'm just saying, those 2 were costly down the stretch, more so than the referee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because anytime you turn that ball over, it's going to hurt you.
We can't talk about it because
you literally had to play a clean game,
yeah.
And you didn't need to have it that close, because even if you're clean and it's that close, if it's in the margins, you're not going to get the fairness of it.
We knew that though.
And this will be our last comment on the refs. To their credit, I'm not going to say we got bailed out at the end of the game, because
at the extra timeout?
Yeah, the scoreboard showed there was no more timeouts left in the contest, in the game. Obviously, we knew on the sideline we had one more, and obviously the ref knew we had one more, so he stayed with it even though he got booed. Okay. And then,
Of course, the Jackson State people is alleging that we had 6 timeouts, but we didn't have 6 timeouts.
The questions asked, while understanding the mentality of college football, why on 3rd and 1, 2, 3 yards, we have a QB in a shotgun formation?
Because that's the formation we usually run, though.
I also do everything feel that
because we run an RPO, so
right.
Well, that's been a reoccurring theme that a lot of people are asking, because yes, traditionally now the RPO spread game is in effect, but football hasn't changed in 100 years. It's still a 10-yard affair for 1st and 10s, and more people are looking at now having jumbo package sets where
Right.
you go under the center,
Right.
and have some 2-backs or some 3-back set. You know, I wish our friend was here tonight, Coach Albert Williams. I always think about Coach Albert Williams because when he played at Campbell Street during the era that he played, they ran the belly series. 3 of the split T. And those things still work today because you still see some teams in short yardage who will get into that split T formation, and they run the football. That's got to be a good idea because everybody's looking at shotgun now. And you're closer to the football when you're up underneath the center. But that's a great question.
I don't want to, guess for Coach Garbino or anything, but our big back was already hurt. I mean, you did have another in Jimmy Robinson. Our big back was hurt. Your biggest tight end was a little limp too, with Chris Grant was a little hurt. I can't answer that thoroughly, but what I can say is, even in shotgun, we were close enough to get the first down.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. That's just, it has to be a will to want to get.
But this is my opinion though. I think when a team knows that you don't pass that well, they bring everybody up because it's hard for us to get running lanes. That's what I noticed. Right. It's hard for us to create running lanes because they're bringing everybody up.
The thing is, just like they were doing, okay, to their credit, when you see that lane, you got hit now.
Yeah.
And,
you can't dance.
Yeah,
you can't dance.
Currently, we might have 1 or 2 guys who okay, I'm getting there now, downhill.
Yeah, we got the one kid from Washington. He'll hit it, but he was limping.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was limping. He wasn't at full speed.
Guys, let me tell you something. Here's the deal. We see it in the professional football as well. You can get you a couple of tackles and put them in the backfield. Okay, this ain't hard.
Right.
This is jumbo package. Okay,
Right.
You can get a couple of big people, put them in the backfield, and it's power football. I don't care who you handing it to.
Right.
That's what it is.
I've been trying to put 34 in the backfield.
Well,
that's what I was saying.
Trying to get 34
and moving down the road. If I'm playing coach, if I get a chance to pretend to be a coach,
right.
2 areas I'm going to always want to have. I want to have me a jumbo heavy package,
right.
and I want to have me a special 2-point play in case I need a 2-point conversion
right.
that I can go to that's in my pocket. I think those things have to be there. They're part of situational football, and you need to prepare for that.
Yeah.
I think we could have possibly ran wham.
Of course,
bring tights over.
Right. When you're running a split zone anyway,
right.
That's what the H-back is when you run the wham in there.
The only thing they did the whole night on their, I will say for Jackson State's running play, whenever you saw that guy come down in motion, he would,
cha.
at the end of the line, and then it's the same.
They getting ready to run that ball right there.
They pull 2 down and kick out. So
that's what it is.
It was numbers.
That's all it was. Getting the extra hat in the box.
Right.
And that's what's so unique. Everybody's running that out of the shotgun now.
Right.
And so there's some little things you can do, but like I said, we're talking size, guys. I mean, you give me a couple of tackles back there, and you can hand it to me, you or Ralph, and we can kind of.
You think we can do it?
Listen, if they let me crawl, I'll get there. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, in a lot of our stuff, they play different defense against us because we're not throwing the ball well. So they're up on us. We're not throwing it well. And now we could get them off of the line, we could probably do more things. But you got to be able to throw it well for them to get back. And that's what I saw Jackson State.
And you got to go a little vertical.
Yeah.
You can run them off. If your routes are shortened, quite naturally they're gonna sit on those.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you run folks off, they gotta honor that. They gotta bail out. They gotta bail out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think that we got a little work to do until our quarterbacks get well. We went 0 for 13 on 3rd downs.
Yeah.
And guys, you're gonna see the same pressure defense next week.
Yep, we sure will.
Right.
That's the book until you beat that.
Until you beat it.
That's what you're gonna see. It's a copycat league, okay?
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, coming into it.
I mean, they probably watching that film now. And they got a game this week, but they're watching that film because that's their homecoming.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, we said earlier, you know, I think the off week helped a lot, and it helps us to, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. We're you know, Bethune is kind of banged up right now, though. I mean, we got 2 quarterbacks hurt. We got 3 running backs hurt. We got linemen hurt. We kind of banged up right now. So this week, really, this off week is really helping us. We needed it.
oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, we needed it real bad.
Big time. Big time. So guys, any positive takeaways before we go into our grading?
Well, what I was proud of is that we hung in there and we played the entire game. And we had our backs to the wall. We just hung in there. I mean, I'm not saying that's. I guess I'm not saying that. Okay, we can hang our hat on that. Well, we can hang our hat on that because our guys didn't quit. But we're into the conference now. We got to win these games that we should win, and that was a game we should have won. That's where I'm at.
To go 0 for 13 on third down and to have your defense play as well as it did to keep you in the football game without tiring out. Because if you're not making first downs, guys,
that defense don't get no rest.
They're not getting any rest, you know. And right now, when we look at our offense, you know, football is still a game of math. And I'm more concerned right now with us making first downs.
Exactly.
If you can extend the play by making first downs, that gives your defense a breather in that regard. So moving forward, you know, those are things we're going to have to kind of look at from that standpoint. We're definitely playing 2 of the better defenses in the conference in the first 2 games of the conference.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Now, the interesting thing is, though, when we play Alabama State, they got a really good defense, but their offense is not that great. So we just have
guess
to
what? Saturday night, Jackson State's offense wasn't that great either.
It wasn't that great.
So it wasn't like we were going up against a juggernaut.
Exactly. Even though they thought, you know, all they could think about, we're going to hang 80 on you. We're going to hang 80.
They were still at TIA Bank in Jacksonville from last year.
Yeah,
that's what their focus was on.
And they absolutely met a new team.
Of course,
the same colors, but a new team.
You know, we look at this, and you talk about taking the positives away, Daryl. The hardest thing for a new coach to do at a new program is to change the culture and lay the foundation. Yeah. And I made a reference last week when we were wrapping up, and Jerry picked up on it, and in his write-up for the preview of this past week's game, he talked about the fact that I mentioned that the 2010 game we knocked off South Carolina State in Brian Jenkins' first year. Understand one thing. When Brian Jenkins came to Bethune-Cookman in 2010, the cupboard was full.
Loaded.
It was full. Okay, he didn't have to bring much. He didn't need to bring any meat. Loaded. Okay, he might have brought some bread, but everything else was in the pantry.
Yeah, that pantry was full.
Raymond Woody is having to do. He had to do some shopping before he got here, and he had to change the culture. These kind of games, though we lost them, they'll serve a purpose for us down the road as we begin to win some of them. But there's a lot of good things that came out of this negative weekend.
Oh, the thing about it also is that, you know, his cupboard was pretty bare, like you said, and he's putting new people in there. And while you're replacing the cupboard, the drawer fell out of the bottom of the cupboard, so it all wasted out on the ground for the most part.
Can't catch a break.
No.
Can't catch a break.
At all. So, you know.
Building blocks, step by step, brick by brick, experience by experience. This is how you begin to become a good football team, you know, literally. And for the fact that Jackson State and perhaps many others around the SWAC were thinking that this game would be more of a blowout. And the ball game's hanging in the balance with a minute to go in the game. You know, literally. A 6-point margin.
Right.
So that says something. And then for them to look at the stats and see, wait a minute, Bethune was 0 for 13?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
was still there in the game?
Even to, where on that fourth down where they're about to punt the ball, and of course we get penalized, to hear the sigh of relief from the fans
because they pretty much had thought they lost.
Well,
that game.
they could not have wanted us to get the football back.
No,
they
did.
did.
Definitely.
They didn't want us to get it back.
And we, in this game, two other things that we committed. We committed some personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conducts that we haven't seen in the first three games.
Well, we only had 3 penalties for the whole game, right?
That's what it says.
3 for 35 yards is what it says.
Yeah,
but
they were costly.
One of them was real bad.
Yeah, we were coming off the field, and it was a late hit on a defensive player. And then we also pulled the helmet off on one guy and kind of slung it. So,
we did some uncharacteristic things that we haven't seen in the first 3 games.
But like you said, 3 for 35 is.
Hey, I take that.
But they were penalties at critical points that.
But if you look at the statistics though, so what it says here, we went 0 for 14 on third downs, and Jackson State was 4 for 15 on third downs. So they wasn't exactly
that much better.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there was no offensive efficiency on that part that was to write home about.
Exactly.
That's clearly way below 50%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go over those stats real quick. Total yards by Bethune-Cookman 230, Jackson State 348. Passing yards, Bethune-Cookman 172, Jackson State 88. Rushing yards, Bethune-Cookman 58, Jackson State 260. Penalty yards, Bethune-Cookman 3 penalties, 35 yards. Jackson State 8 penalties for 84 yards. First downs, Bethune-Cookman 14, Jackson State 19. Third downs, as Ralph spoke about, 0 for 14. Jackson State was 4 for 15. Fourth down conversions, Bethune-Cookman 2 for 3. Jackson State 1 for 2. Time possession, Bethune-Cookman 26 minutes, 13 seconds. Jackson State 33 minutes, 47 seconds. So
the play before half where we're driving to get points before the half ends, and the quarterback comes out.
Trey goes, or Simmons goes down, and then
what was the nature of Trey? Did they? Because on the
he didn't come back. Like we started the second half, and he was still in the locker room for like 2 or 3 plays.
Was it cramps or something? What?
He was limping. I don't know.
He was limping.
Not quite sure.
Because I think Coach Woody said today on the program that he was cramping up. But I mean,
he took some shots in the game. I know earlier he was kind of holding his groin area earlier, and then as we were driving, then I think his ankle or knee,
one of them,
and so then we put Ponder in, and
got in.
yeah. But that
but you're in plus territory right there for the field goal. Right.
You can't take the points off the board.
You got to, when you're down there, you got to get a chance to drink from a trough.
And that's another thing. Like you can't, you
don't put the ball in harm's way like that. I mean, it was a ricochet.
Cold. I mean,
cold to ask somebody to make that.
Not even.
So, that's a tough one.
He had been signaling plays in, so not even to go back there and throw the ball around. So.
Yeah, that's a tough call to come for anybody to come in.
And as I told Ralph, I was, and as you said earlier, Larry, the cupboard was bare. But not only that, these guys are learning a whole new system, and including the coaches, and things of that nature, and they're being put in some situations to where they're even having to, for lack of a better word, grow up quick. And, like you said, the same thing on some first, to get the first downs, we might have to.
You're going to have to improvise a little bit in that regard. And football still is situation down in distance.
Right.
What you call when you call it, and That's the finer points of it. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot.
Marcus Allridge would ask the question of the night: who was the last penalty on, the coaches or the players?
Oh,
It was interesting. The coach answered it today on the Coach
the coaches call in.
What did he say?
And Raymond said you can't blame the kids.
No,
It
you
was on the
can't.
coaches.
You can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
when you get 2 extra players out there,
Yeah,
that's got to be on the coach.
And he was standing up.
And
about
they
it.
were
He
pretty
was.
lenient to having 12 out there and you try to run one off. If you're at least past the numbers, they were allowing that because it happened a couple times for both teams. But
He tried to explain it to a situation of saying that one of the kids was supposed to be on the team who got hurt, got nicked
and
up.
I said that to the guys sitting in the lobby. We did our post game in the Hilton Garden Inn.
He didn't report to the coach he was going back in.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
so
that's
the
how he ended
coach
up on the
sent his
field.
replacement out there.
Yeah,
Right.
send his replacement in.
Which is, it's easy for it to happen. And in the middle of, you're out of timeouts. So it's not like you can call a timeout. You can't just fall down. You can't do the little Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, that really surprised me because DJ McCarthy takes a lot of time with special teams.
But like he said, if you don't check in and say, "Hey, I'm back,"
Yeah, I understand that.
or send your guy out. You got to go. You got to go out.
According, it sounded like what Coach was saying that the kid who was injured had gone out and they literally almost took his helmet, and so they didn't expect the kid to come back in the game.
Right.
Somehow the kid got the helmet, got back in the game, and the coaching staff didn't know he was going in. Now you got too many bodies on the football field.
Yeah.
So you could tell it was a breakdown from a communication perspective and an expectation in terms of whether that kid's going to be able to go back in the game or not.
And it's also upstairs. I mean, everybody's got to be counting. Everybody's got to be counting, and not saying that we could have still gotten them off if we would have known that there's 12 so people on the field, because that's a critical time.
Very critical.
Now they waited. They waited until the ball was snapped, and then of course the back judge is the one who threw it. So yeah,
the back
and it was
judge-
already controversial.
He already knew it was too many on the field. Yeah,
it was already controversial because right before that was the timeout. So you might have could have got away with it if if they hadn't. I'm not saying they gave us one, but the perception is always bad.
Sometimes in situations like that, they were punting from their territory.
Yeah.
And when you're sort of in a mix-up like that, is sometimes not even put anybody back there. Just let them kick it.
And the fact of the matter is, and I can't say, we can hang our hats on that and all of that, but you still would have to drive 80 yards.
Well, yeah, that was the bottom.
A field goal doesn't help you.
Right.
Yeah.
But just getting a chance.
Right. Gives you the opportunity.
Yeah.
But
you just went down real quick and scored.
Right.
That's the same thing happened to us against Prairie View.
Right.
We knew we could score on them, and then Jalen runs the ball around the corner and just laid it on the carpet, and they picked it up and ran a touchdown. Yeah. So it was, again, I like I said in the beginning, it was a game that we should have won.
Right.
We should have won that game.
Let's get to our grades, guys.
He couldn't wait. He'd been talking about these grades ever since we was in Jackson.
What did the creator say?
The creator.
Remember sitting at the table in the Hilton Garden?
Oh, that creator.
The creator needs to be at a grade. The creator always
he haven't even come online. He haven't even come online, the creator.
So, quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks? For who?
Larry, quarterbacks. Larry, quarterbacks.
Well, if you look at the Florida game, I don't think it's any other way to grade it other than maybe a D plus.
He didn't turn the ball over.
He didn't turn the ball over.
Didn't turn the ball
Well,
over.
again.
Well, he ain't supposed to turn it over either.
Yeah.
Well, no quarterback is, but I mean, it happens in the Florida game, and
But at the same time, you're grading him, and you guys just alluded to the fact that they were in press coverage.
right.
He's not calling the plays, so
Right.
somebody got to call something to get at least run them off.
Well, yeah, I say that.
In that regard, but he didn't turn the football over, and he gave us a chance, but he can play better than that, and I know that.
I would certainly hope so. Mine was a D minus.
Okay.
All right. Let me ask you this: what was it before you got your information today?
D minus.
Okay.
That was still D minus.
Okay. All right.
There must be some information in here.
D minus.
Running backs.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give them a D minus too. You can't put the ball on the carpet.
No matter.
You can't put the ball on the carpet.
And we got to get those yards that we need.
Got to
when
get
you
the
truly
yard.
run.
We need 1 yard. We got to have a back that we know can get us 1
to
yard.
get 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That would be my grade as well. It's kind of hard to give the offense anything much higher than that.
you got that
because-
right.
Can't
0
do
for
that,
14
Jim.
on third downs.
Yeah, because we just didn't show anything.
Right. Let's go with wide receiver / tight end play.
See, again, you can't catch it if they don't throw it to you. Now, is it route running, or is it the quarterback just isn't getting enough time to make the throw? I could say it could be both ways.
Now, when we did catch the ball, in certain instances, there was lack of effort. Like you just caught the ball
Out of
and
bounds.
And go out of bounds.
yeah, you can't do that.
So
You have to enforce your will and turn back into the field of play and try to get up the sideline.
then I'm
Yeah.
going to give them a D plus.
Steve, who's the A+ for?
Who gave who a plus?
Our boy Steven. We'll see. What you got?
We get the touchdown to get us back in the game on a pass.
Right.
I'll go C for the wide receivers.
Okay.
It wasn't like we didn't make any plays.
Right. Offensive line play.
D.
I can live with that.
0 for 13. 0 for 14 on third downs.
And not being able to get a yard. If you don't,
Yeah.
Got to be able to get a yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean-
back in the day, if you couldn't get a yard, they took your meal card from you. You didn't you don't need it. That's what Wesley Moser do.
He said they took the meal card.
Oh, Steve said that was a joke because you can't catch passes that aren't thrown. All right, so let's go. We'll add one to it. Overall offense.
It's going to be a D for me. I mean, we just aren't moving the ball. And I'm going to attribute that to everybody. I mean, offensive line got to block better. And they got to pass protect better. To get a quarterback a chance.
Would
So-
you pass that grade on to the coaches also?
Well, see, these great. This is what we're putting it on the kids, but now they got to run what's being called.
I
And the
agree.
coaches are getting the pass on some of this now. You know,
Right,
so
right.
Is it really fair? Because I mean, what else are the kids gonna be able to do but run what they
Right.
call?
Saban ain't never ran a touchdown, though.
Huh?
Yeah, but if you don't do what he taught you in
Oh, my God.
practice,
If
at
you
that level,
don't-
it's MAs and all kind of stuff. Yeah.
And you know, he will let you
Yeah.
know. Okay,
Yeah.
in that regard. So
I mean, it's the coach's responsibility to get the players prepared to play the game. I agree. It's a coach's responsibility to put them in a space where they can perform to their greatest, to their
Right.
best. It's his responsibility. But my question is, though, how do we know that the coaches didn't do that?
well, here's one
Because
thing.
some of the plays
So,
that
here's
might
one
have
thing.
been called.
If we're grading like this right now, and we saw the press coverage, pressure defense
Mm-hmm.
that Jackson deployed on us. And we're going to see the same thing against Bama State. If these numbers come back the same way,
then that's coaching.
They got to take some of it.
Yeah, they
got to own some of it. There's no question about it.
I agree.
Because I know I didn't see any screen passes called.
Right.
But I was basing that on this. I remember the Savannah State game. We couldn't do anything in the first quarter. We did nothing. We got one first down. And then the second quarter, the whole game turned around. And it looked like...
I mean, you're going to get different plays for different players.
Well, of course, I know that. Because you're going to design the plays for what that quarterback is best at. I understand that part. But, I just don't want to hype on the coaches right now because I think our team haven't gelled together yet. You can't get 1 yard on a running play. And we had that opportunity 4 or 5 times. Somebody just called in. I heard it.
Oh no, that was somebody's cell phone.
Do you guys agree or disagree?
I mean, you got to simplify it to get that first down too.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to disagree with that.
You know, we're dealing with an invisible layer there because we don't know how the coaches are calling it, whether it's different for a different skill set or what. I don't know, but I know this. We saw the Savannah game, and your point was very well taken. We looked one way in the first quarter. We looked a little bit different, the second half.
Same coach,
and same Savannah defense.
But
but something
different quarterbacks.
Something happened there. Now the question moving forward is, if the quarterback who played against Savannah saw the pressure that was applied by Jackson, how would he have fared in that football game? That's what you got to. That's what you got to ask.
And that's the unknown, though.
That's my point.
Right.
That's the critical point that you got to look at. And Daryl, you said something earlier. We're all learning this offense.
Yeah.
Not just the players.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The coaches, in terms of how to call this kind of game, the kind of pressure you're seeing, all of this.
And they're learning this conference. I mean, each team that we play is
right. We're having to pick up on this is the SWAC approach. The SWAC approach has always been, feast the family. We're coming.
Bring them dogs.
Now, how do you handle it? How do you offset that moving forward?
One of the things that I was surprised we don't run screens, especially with all that.
Well, Larry said earlier.
Well, there's certain plays in all of football, from Pop Warner to professionals, that are pressure releasers. Okay.
Right.
Same thing when you're dealing with press man coverage. You don't run takeoff, you run crossing routes to run away from people that way. Mm-hmm. Those are the things that are designed to free yourself up from those kind of defenses that you see. But again, we got to wait and see if those things start to show up in our repertoire. They did not show up Saturday. That's why it's so amazing for us to be in this game, as deep into the game as we were in.
That's our defense.
Well, I can't just say it's the defense. The defense helped out big time. But we
had 250 some odd yards. It wasn't like we didn't have anything.
Right. Let's go defensive line.
I would say the defensive line, I'm going to give them maybe a C- or C+.
I'm C, either way, plus or minus.
And the reason I'm giving them that is that team ran for 260 yards.
Yeah.
I'll give them a C+. I know we're small, and I expect everybody to try to pound us in that regard.
Of course.
But I'll let you have all the yards you want from 20 to 20.
And that's what we did.
I'll let you have that.
Right.
But now if you can't ring that bell and cross over to the goal line, then I'm winning. It
don't matter, right?
I'm winning.
Right.
Because it's a 100-yard affair. So I thought we played well enough, given the size disadvantage we were confronting in the defensive line.
Linebackers.
D.
I thought we ran to the ball really well. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go C. I really.
I think Ralph is judging that on the running yards, and
Yeah. Well,
they got to the second level,
They did.
past the
They-
second level quite a
they
few
did.
times on that.
And there was that one play they kept running. Okay,
Right.
they had a success out of. No doubt.
Now
about
that's
it.
coach.
Yeah,
that
well,
we didn't make the
we didn't make an
adjustment.
adjustment there.
Well, you got two safeties. You got to roll something down.
You gotta
into
roll
the
it
box
down,
to
yeah,
give
now.
you a
But
opportunity.
again,
That was cool.
What is the philosophy?
Yeah.
Were we trying to take that away at the expense of giving something up over the top, or were we trying to make them go the long field?
Let their fans tell it. Then you could have gave them over the top all day.
Yeah, because they said the quarterback can't throw it.
So, but that's neither here nor there for us. So you got C linebackers,
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go defensive backfield.
Now, I'm gonna grade up on the defensive backfield. I was very happy that number one got his first interception.
Yes, sir.
Because I think he deserved it, and he played that Jackson State game tough. So for the backs, and they did make some adjustments. I say I'm going to give the defensive backs. I'm going to give them C plus B minus. That's what I'm going to give them.
Larry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well,
Keep going,
but the reason I'm giving them that is that defensive linemen make cornerbacks. They make them. And what I mean by
This
that,
is-
the more pressure you put on that quarterback, the more so he's going to throw errant passes. I mean,
Now, guys, as a professor, former professor,
Still a professor.
Don't let these individual grades you're giving now try to morph into some special grade you give in the defense. Because I want you to understand you're grading by different
Individual,
levels.
right.
So there's some low grades in here. So I better not sit nothing high for the overall defense. Okay, that's what I'm trying to sell y'all on. Okay.
We're picking up what you put
Y'all down in here. All my D's and C minuses. Y'all gonna ask the question overall defense, and you come talk about an A minus.
Come on, Larry. I know you got some football players in your class. You got to. We need the help.
I'm trying to make this a teaching moment right now. From that standpoint, I saw the defensive backs clearly as a B for me. I really did. I saw them as a B.
What'd you have, Ralph?
We didn't give up any shot play.
what I had?
Yeah.
C plus B.
Okay. All right. C plus.
Because the first thing I said, Amari got his first
Yeah,
interception.
interception.
And I was excited about that, actually. I was excited.
Let's go. Before I go special teams, let's go overall defensive grade.
If I had a piece of paper, some of y'all really, we're gonna give y'all a bell curve because these grades ain't gonna add up. I'm telling you right now. Well, y'all need to figure. Maybe you never heard this. The whole thing in grading right now is called rubric grading.
Yes,
You have a
yes.
rubric. You get your grade just like y'all grade in the section. We grade
on a curve.
Yeah, but see, you can't have all these low grades and then end up with a rubric high grade. They're gonna look at you and like, what is going on?
Fans, what do you think the defensive grade should be?
I know what Larry grade is, so.
What's yours, Ralph?
What, my grade?
Yes, sir.
D plus.
I gave the defense a B plus.
A B plus.
We stayed in this football game, didn't we?
Okay, you
Okay.
okay. All right. You judging by
listen.
that. All right.
So it averages out to a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I understand what you're
Stephen
saying.
Holmes gave a B. No.
I understand what
yeah,
you're saying,
yeah,
actually. I understand what you're saying. I
Boy, Jerry gonna get you, Stephen. Woo. Okay,
What
so
is
we say
Stephen-
C. Stephen gave him a B.
Okay,
Stephen
yeah,
gave him a
I'm
B.
just being honest with them.
Willie Jackson C.
That's
Willie
my,
Jackson
that's my
gave-
man.
Willie Jackson gave the
Willie,
defense
Willie. Way to go, Willie.
Jamal Givens an A for the DBs.
Givens gave him an A.
Yeah.
Well, I know why Willie giving him a C. Because Willie, as a safety, Willie one of those safeties that like to come down and get the ball to the box. He want to come down in the run game. That's why he grading low.
Right. Right.
That's what he's looking at.
Theron Ward is C+. All right, we'll move forward. Special teams.
Okay, so are we grading individuals or the whole special teams?
I'll let you go because go individual
I
play.
personally think.
How about kicking game?
I think we probably got.
Well, I'm with an A. Now that doesn't have anything to do with return.
No, just kicking.
Just kicking the football.
I think Frederick is the best punter.
That's a
in
solid.
the
That's a
SWAC.
solid A based on.
I mean-
just off the safety, the kick, the punt he made off the safety.
He kicked it to the other end zone
Yeah, I mean
from the 20.
That says something by itself.
Yeah, so I think that we're
Kicking-
strong there. I
yeah,
think we
kick-
got two good kickers.
No doubt
and
about it.
even our reserve kicker, when you don't get the jitteries, is a pretty decent kicker.
But I particularly feel good about our placement kicker because now anytime we are 40 yards on in,
You can count
we
it.
got that.
You can count
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You can count it.
We haven't looked this way in a long time.
Yeah, you can count it.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
That's where I'm at.
I got to go home and look at some of these grades when I get home tonight.
All right, so you got overall special teams.
Who's that?
Overall special teams.
8?
Even with the
Man, if we was better on covering, I'd give them A+. Because we got good kickers.
what kickoff return is a part of that, Ralph.
Yeah, you got yeah.
Yeah.
All kickoff returns and any returns are in there,
Yeah.
and coverages.
A for the kicking game, F for the return game.
That you gave him an F for return?
No, I was just reading over here. I'm just a comment guy. I'm just a reader.
Dale got the easy job.
He got hey, look, ain't nobody throwing rocks at him. Yeah.
Because I have to deal with Ralph during the game. So,
There you go. He gonna blame me anyway.
bro,
Boy, we're gonna get you guys wired up at the game. Okay, we missing something.
Yeah, we need to do a show at the game.
Yeah, we missing something. Y'all too.
you don't want that, boy.
It'll be for members only. Okay.
Got to be. Join the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. And, yeah, you can listen to that. You know, adults only.
Unfiltered.
Adults only. That's the only way. So, all right. Overall team performance. We're in an off week, so overall team performance.
That's a tough
Let's go, fans. Overall team performance.
that's
What's
a
your
tough one
grade
for me?
after 4 games? Let's say after 4 games.
Oh, okay.
Let's give a break. Okay, after 4 games.
I'm gonna give him a C+. And the reason they got C+, I thought cutting down on penalties was a big deal for us because we usually average anywhere from 15 to 18 penalties a game. That's a big improvement there for me.
Larry, I see you thinking over there.
Well, you know,
I'm with you.
I'm inclined to give him hear my logic.
A lot of
In
C's.
the 3
over here.
games that we lost, we covered the spread on every game.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Yeah.
On every single game we played.
I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I,
Well, B-. We're ahead of where I thought we would be. Coaches are doing a great job of changing the culture of the locker room. Still room to grow, though.
I agree.
Well, like I said, that's the hardest part of the new coaching regime, is to lay the foundation to change the culture. And we've done it, and we got a good buy-in from the kids.
Definitely.
No doubt about it.
Definitely. One of those guys that we've been talking about and mentioning just so happens to be a call-in to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Mr. Luke Sprague, welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing good. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We're doing great. We're doing great. Welcome to Daytona, Luke. We're glad to have you here. I know we talked about a little over a month ago, Ralph, to Luke after one of those cookouts, and he made us a promise that he was really going to think about it, and lo and behold, Luke's here at Daytona on the beach. So, Luke.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. How's your transition been? We know you're an up north guy. How's your transition been to Daytona? How has it been coming to Daytona, getting in the ranks of quarterbacking and things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, honestly. I mean, the transition's been very smooth. I mean, it doesn't make it too hard when you come into a program with a bunch of great guys. I mean, getting really close with everyone on the team. So transition hasn't been tough at all, to be honest with you.
Great. That's great. How's you went through fall camp, Luke. Difference in weather, like the heat. How have you adjusted to the heat?
Oh yeah, I mean that's one big difference for sure. But I mean it's
Then fast forward to Savannah State, and we've read the articles and the headlines where playing in front of the crowd in Daytona Stadium. Tell us how that was from your perspective.
I mean, it was great, to be honest with you. I'm coming from Long Island where I was at first in the NEC, we didn't really get big crowds, and obviously at my JUCO we didn't get big crowds either. So having the band behind you and all the fans, just feeding off them and their energy was awesome. It's really plays a big part in our game. So I mean, to have that is definitely a big advantage for sure.
Definitely a big advantage, and we're definitely glad to have you here. I'm going to turn you over to our guys, Mr. Larry Wesley, the professor, and then the JarHead Ralph Smith, who, like I said, you talked to over a month ago. Guys, Luke Sprague.
Luke, I've only seen just a little sample size of your work here at Bethune-Cookman. With throwing it away and playing another down. Has that been sort of the mindset you've had for much of your time playing quarterback where you've been?
Yes, sir, definitely. You always want to take care of the ball, and going out there and knowing what you're doing is, I think, the most important thing in playing quarterback. Watching film to nonstop, and then just like I said, taking care of the football. And Coach Woody, reiterates that every single day of practice. So, I mean, when you're harping on it every day, it kind of just goes into the game. So, when you're doing nonstop at practice, it's nothing. The philosophy always stays the same during game day.
Sounds good.
So Luke, this is Ralph Smith. I saw you on the sideline at Jackson State, and I was looking at you, and I could tell that you wanted to be out in that game, and of course we wanted you to be out there too. But I was watching you the whole game, and I said he can't stand it.
Definitely do everything you can to help the guys out, and we see that day in and day out in practice. I mean, you're right there in the thick of things, and that's what a leader does, Luke. That's truly what a leader does, and like I said, we're so glad to have you here at Bethune-Cookman, man, and look forward to some great things out of you. We have tons of BCU fans listening in and watching right now. Luke, do you have any words for the Wildcat fans before we let you go?
All I can say is I appreciate you guys, coming from up north and coming.
Well, definitely, Luke. We're glad to have you, man, here, and the fans are elated over in our comment section. It's just blowing up. Captain Luke is in the building. He's been called Uncle Luke, everything.
He's a rock star.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're looking for great things out of you, Luke. And like I said, just so glad to have you, and thank you for calling in tonight, man. And anytime you want to come on the show, we're here for it, and things of that nature. So we will talk soon. Ralph, you got any closing words? You guys have closing words for
Luke? If you want me to come over and massage your shoulder, I'll do that. Just let me know.
Luke's gonna be just fine. Luke's gonna be just fine.
Big guy, take good care of yourself. Get your treatments in. We can't wait to get you back on that football field.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
All right,
Take care.
Luke. Thanks for
Hail
calling in,
Wildcat.
man. We appreciate it. Hail Wildcats.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Luke Sprigg, quarterback for our Bethune-Cookman, one of the quarterbacks for our Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Such a mannerable guy, man. Very, very much a professional in everything he does. And like I said, it's not just, fake. It's Luke is a part of the game plan.
It's interesting, and Luke alluded to it. Yeah, we got a good quarterback room. We got the guys who they support each other. Mm-hmm. They work with each other. They're constantly talking about what they see, et cetera, et cetera. I watch them even in practice when they come off the field. Mm-hmm. They dap each other up. Congratulations on a good pass that you threw, etc. So you like that camaraderie, because iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're working hard like that, and that's what you want to have.
And like he said, he was not kidding when he says, "Hey, trying to coach him up from my position where I'm at, to do all he can." I'm glad. I'm really glad that Coach allowed him and Bethea to take the trip up to Jackson State. You want to get them in those environments to let them know, hey,
and they are an extra set of eyes,
right,
that play that position.
Yes.
And you never know what they see that somebody else doesn't see.
Definitely.
So that's so important. But like you said, that experience of being in that kind of environment,
right,
is so important.
It's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. So I mean, I know a lot of people want to know about when will Luke be back. He will be back when he's ready to be back. That's what it comes down to. He will be back when he's ready to be back.
Hopefully soon.
When the medical staff gives the clearance, that's when he'll get back.
They're not playing any games, from what I heard today. They are very tedious about our guys and letting them come back. If it's the slightest little thing, I don't know. We should possibly.
What you want to err on the side of caution, Daryl?
Yeah, definitely.
You really should.
Definitely. We're going to flip to the other side of the ball now, and we're going to bring in Mr. Laquan Johnson. Laquan, defensive end for our Wildcats. Welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. How's it going this evening, sir?
It's going good. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. Laquan was one of our late additions to the football team, hailing out of Central Michigan up there with Coach McElwain. Another one of our guys that, he told us, let me get some things worked out and I'll be a Wildcat. And lo and behold, here he is, and has factored into a lot of our football games off the edge out there. Very, very high motor, physical guy.
He's very noticeable on the football.
Yes,
field.
he definitely is.
Motor,
He definitely
does
is.
run, and that's what you want from a defensive end position.
Yes.
Because the whole world's looking on the edge.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
a lot of the pressure comes from out there.
Laquan, you've been in Daytona for a little over a month now. How has that transition been from Michigan? I know, when you arrived in Daytona, this is your first time in Daytona, right?
Yes, that was my first time in Daytona. So, I mean, the switch is for sure been an adjustment, especially just trying to get adjusted to the heat and everything. That's my main thing, is just that constant heat 24/7. And I'm still getting adjusted to that right there.
And this is a guy who, has a lot of hair on his head, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
like 2-3 showers a day.
He's praying for Halloween to get here. Okay.
And unfortunately, our head coach don't believe in shade.
No shade out there for sure.
No shade.
The coach is a Florida boy.
Yeah.
He's been soaking up sun forever.
So, Laquan, as we said, you got to, come down here to Daytona and factor in. Between Central Michigan and Bethune-Cookman, is there a difference for you? What, with that transition, what's the difference between the two programs the biggest difference that stood out for you?
I mean, the biggest difference is the location, and like Daytona is more of a city vibe. Mount Pleasant is more of a college town, so like when school's in session, it's people around, but then when school's not in session, there's not a lot of people around. But from what I'm hearing, Daytona, it's people around regardless if school is in session or not. So
24/7.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
24/7, the world's most famous beach. Everybody want to get to the beach.
So we have you.
Yeah, and I still ain't been to the beach yet.
You gotta go. You gotta go, big guy. You gotta go.
Yeah.
We'll get you there, man. Maybe some of your teammates will. Maybe some of your teammates will take you over there tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah, they gotta get me out there.
Downtown.
Well, you got 2 days off, right? You got what? Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. I'm gonna enjoy those 2 days for sure.
Yeah, you got to get to the beach, my friend.
Definitely.
And it's not nearly as hot as it was.
So, Laquan, you played at Central Michigan. We went and played, the teams such as Memphis. We've played Savannah State, home game, and then we played Miami. How was, I ask again, how was that atmosphere coming from Central Michigan and then coming to play at a HBCU with the bands and things of that nature? Because we do know there's a difference in the bands. So, how's that been for you?
I mean, it's a difference for sure, but it's like a good difference in a way because like the fans here on the HBCU level, they a lot more dedicated. I feel like they've been rooting for the Wildcats for a long time, so I actually enjoy the fans and the band. I like the vibes and everything, so it's a difference, but it's a good difference in its own way. So like, it's not a downgrade from coming from Central to here. It's actually, if anything, it's the same or not, just a little bit more of an upgrade.
Okay.
I like the fans out here. It's been a good crowd in all the games that I've been to so far as being a Wildcat.
That's great, man. That's great. If you had to compare yourself, we know you're a grad student. Congratulations on your graduation. We know you're a grad student. If there was anyone in the NFL that you would compare your game to, who would that be?
I always like to watch and compare myself to DeMarcus Lawrence,
Okay.
for the Cowboys.
Cowboys, yes, sir.
Yeah, I like the way I like the way he is in the pass rush, but then I also like how disruptive he is in the run game too. So that's why I kind of like both in the pass and run game.
Gotcha. I know your teammate, Luke just called in, and we didn't get a chance to ask him, but what made you decide to come to Bethune-Cookman? I'm sure, when you went in the portal, you had other places, other offers that you could have went to. What made you decide on Bethune-Cookman?
Really just belief in the faith that the coaches put into me, and they saw they was behind me and they had the best interest for me and not just for what I can do for the program. So I like the love family oriented that they the vibe that they gave off to me. So that's all it was, and I wanted to be somewhere where I could feel comfortable after my last year with me being a grad transfer. So when I was talking with all the coaches, they made me feel good and feel comfortable with this decision. So that was the biggest thing right there. So I can feel free and be able to play free.
There you go. There you go. There are tons of Wildcat fans listening to the show. They're going off in the comments over here. We want Laquan to talk to our fans and let them know what you're looking for from our fan base. What do you want them to know about Laquan Johnson?
I'm a hard worker. I'm coming in to put on for the Wildcats on the field and off the field. So need y'all to support, do good and bad. So y'all gonna get a hard working player, and that's gonna help promote the Wildcats so we can continue to grow on and off the field.
Definitely continue to grow on and off the field. And fans, Laquan's one of those NIL players, so go on 1923society.com and become a part of the 1923 Society. We need your help, and he's looking for greater and bigger things as we go. So let's get behind him. Laquan, thanks for calling in. Guys, you got anything for Laquan before?
No, I'm good.
Just keep that motor running, big guy. Keep it coming off the edge. I love
Yes, sir.
Keep on being a Motor City.
I got you.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, we thank you for calling in, Laquan, and we look forward to you calling in any other time you want to call in, man. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right.
Hail
All right,
Wildcats.
thank you. Hail
Appreciate
Wildcats.
y'all
Yes, sir.
opportunity.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right.
Defensive end Laquan Johnson for our Wildcats, number 98, Laquan Johnson. Fans. All right, we got our guest out of the way. Now it's time for our truly special guest. That's you, fans. To call in 386-868-3411, 386-868-3411. It's our bye week, but I want to see the switchboard light up. I want the switchboard smoking. Don't just stand behind the keyboard and type and comment. We want to verbally hear from you. Say it with your chest. 386-868-3411, 386-868-3411. We want to hear from you. Ralph was chomping at the bit to get in here tonight. Since we got back from Jackson about 1 o'clock Monday morning.
You got back at 1 o'clock. I had to get home at 3.
Well, where you went after we got back?
Oh, boy.
hey, Larry, he was standing outside of ATC waiting.
Boy.
Yeah. 386-868-3411, 386-868-3411. Guys, I guess the main question is, I know we gave a grade through the first 4 games, but were you close to, is the team close to your expectations at this point?
In some ways they aren't.
Okay. Give me the good ways that they are close, if you can.
It's just that they're a lot more disciplined. They're a lot more. It's almost like a job to them, or something they got to get done.
Right.
They seem to have purpose.
Right.
They seem to enjoy being with each other. That's what I see. I mean, we just got to get the little pieces and put them together, and then turn them to W's. And I think we're getting closer each game we play. Hopefully we get a W next week.
Miss Lodge said you owe her a picture, just so you know.
I was going to comment before we got off the radio
Gotcha.
about my sister Westine.
Okay, all
down the
right.
road, because she made my heart miss a beat.
Yeah,
No
definitely,
doubt about it.
definitely.
But as far as the team, Daryl, is concerned, I don't usually go out on a limb like this, and I started thinking about this after we got off the air last week, and I feel even more compelled to say this tonight as we get ready to play football next week, having an off week. As I've surveyed the SWAC this year and looking at a lot of the games, being online with some of the coaches and their commentary, and I look at our schedule, and I'm taking things one game at a time. If we're able, and understand what I'm saying, one game at a time, based on who we have left on our schedule, if by some means we knock off Alabama State, I don't see anybody else on our roster that we should not beat up until we get ready to go over and play in that rivalry game. And anybody knows when you're playing a rivalry game, it can go any way. I mean, really, I'm saying that because this is a great conference, but there's nobody that just jumps off the page that's doing great things coaching-wise or team-wise. FAMU right now is the hottest team in the conference, quite naturally.
But it's not.
And even with them, they will play down to the competition.
Right.
But based on where we're strong in the sense of the discipline, the lack of mistakes with penalties, I see no reason why the games we have on our schedule remain.
All winnable games.
And we only leave the state one more time after Alabama State. And that's against
Grambling.
Literally.
Those guys, and when I say those guys, the players have truly bought into what's, no matter what happens in the games, they have truly bought in, and they are totally about finishing. And this is not to knock anybody, but last year's game, man, we saw people,
Yeah, this team has a resilience about it,
right?
And
wrapping tape, taking tape off their fingers.
They're not gonna. They're not gonna tank it in. They're not gonna pack it in or anything like that. They're gonna play, and you know that. And Coach Wood and the staff wouldn't have it any other way.
Man,
and
I
so
tell you,
you're gonna get the best we have to offer every week, and that's what I like about this. And we practice so well. Like I said, practice does count. This is not an Allen Iverson practice. No, this is real. Practice gets you ready.
The most meaningful thing and I know Ralph saw it after the game, and Miss Emma, shout out Miss Emma Price, standing there after the game and, seeing the players walking to the bus, players and coaches, like you could just feel that they know from here on out, we can't let another one go like that. Just to lock in the focus, just like we were right there. We were right there, but the season's not over. No. We have to win out. And that's the mentality everyone walking to the bus. They're locked in. They're laser focused, just like when their legacy walked. That's how they walked out, just like, okay.
Right.
We still got business to handle.
And that's part of the culture, Daryl. It
yeah,
really is.
Definitely.
That's so critical.
Definitely.
There's some people and some teams that are donut teams. They don't have a core.
Right.
They don't have a center.
Right.
And this ball club has a purpose, a center, and they've bought into the charge of getting better day by day, each week, and translating that to the football team. I know it sounds hyperbole, but this is real. This is how you climb the mountain to get where you want to get.
Exactly.
And you always wonder after a game like that how the guys are going to respond, how they're going to come back. The most meaningful thing to me was to go on to Instagram on Sunday and see the guys in the training room getting the treatment, laughing, and just like, hey, that game's done with. We can't go back and get it back, but from here on out, we know what we got to do. And let's get back to work. And Sunday, we're back at practice.
Want to have an attitude where you let the last game beat you the next game.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You put that away.
Right.
And we gave a good account of ourselves, and we can walk away saying that What happened to us was self-inflicted. We
Yes,
did it to ourselves.
We did it ourselves.
Exactly. They didn't beat us.
No, that can be corrected.
Of course.
And there's a lot of things that we saw at practice that gives us a lot of hope, even the little things and the moving pieces, and some people weren't where they have been for the last 3 to 4 weeks, and certain people weren't wearing certain things, and there's some body part movements that give you a lot of hope. We'll say a lot of hope that that corner, we're turning that corner, and so we just have to keep on pushing those guys and get behind them, and it's all about fan support. It's all about fan support. Support, yeah. We have an off week, but it's not too early to even start planning for Alabama State. It is their homecoming. We're going to face, one of our formidable foes. We're going to face one of our own players. That's their homecoming. Yeah, okay. It is their homecoming. So next Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff against Alabama State. Yeah, it is their homecoming. So
the festive affair.
Yeah, very, very, very. We want to see our fans there, man. I mean, unfortunately, our band's not able to travel, but we still have to play football. We still have to play football without, and we know the band gets everyone motivated. The band gets everyone motivated, but so do those guys who strap those helmets on in the maroon and gold every time they go out there. And we have to support them full force. We have to support them full force. I'm proud of the 10 people, not including who traveled with the team, the 10 fans that were, sitting in the stands cheering them on, small but mighty. You can see each one of those fans stand up and clap when we did something well, even with the heckling behind us. And there was a lot of it. But great fans from Jackson State, but there was some heckling, We got showered with hot sauce when we first walked into the stadium.
That's why I say you guys got to be mic'd up. I mean, a camera crew following y'all.
It's just crazy, man.
Because the hot sauce story was just too much for me.
Oh, it's crazy. It was crazy. I mean, that big stadium, and the guy walks from the concession stand. The guy walks from the concession stand and wait till it gets right by us to drop that big bottle of hot sauce. Oh my gosh! And he didn't even offer Ralph a gizzard.
Usually the guy would say, "Hey, I'm sorry, you want a gizzard?"
The man said,
he just, "I'm sorry, bro. I got to get to these gizzards, man. And we got hot sauce all over our pants and shoes."
That's exactly what he said. I got to get to these gizzards. Yeah. So
it didn't even offer Ralph.
Didn't even
offer me one. My shoes plastered with hot sauce.
If you have never taken a trip to one of Bethune's away games, you're missing out on a huge treat. You're missing out on a huge treat. It's one to behold, and if you do come to one, you want to sit by Ralph Smith. You want to sit by Ralph Smith. The commentary is live. We want to hear from you. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We will not cover our Alabama State game plan until next week, but we will get through it. We know we're facing Ryan Lewis and his crew over there from Alabama State. Yeah. And it's going to be a great game.
I think it's. I wouldn't want to miss that one.
No. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. Yeah. Even Minister Darold laughed over here because he's going to Alabama State with us. So,
really?
Yeah.
There was a question asked at the coaches' press conference this week of Bama State. One of the scribes for one of the stations covering asked Coach Robinson about the addition of Terry Sims to his staff, and how much of an influence has Terry had, and Coach Robinson said he has been a breath of fresh air. He's helped us in so many ways, and he's helped me as a coach. And
Right,
he said,
right.
And we certainly look forward to his intel as it associates with Bethune-Cookman
That
University.
Nick Saban effect, man.
I want to say, well,
You bring your enemies in with you, man.
I don't know what Terry can tell him about this football team, because
You don't know anything about this football
I don't know
team.
about this football team, you know. But it was very interesting to hear those comments, very, very pleasant comments that Coach Robinson had about Terry, as well as Ryan Lewis. And
Right.
the job that Ryan was doing with the defense.
Right. Wow. So it's yes, sir.
Can I
Let's
say
go
something
there.
about that? I will. I had the privilege Sunday night, to be a part of the 33rd annual Florida High School Athletic Sports Hall of Fame induction. This class was unique. This organization's been around for quite a number of years, but this class featured 13 African American inductees, and all of them had a close tie to either Bethune-Cookman or Florida A&M. And 3 of the inductees directly associated with Bethune-Cookman: Larry Little, the outstanding all-pro guard for Miami Dolphins, Hall of Fame inductee at almost everybody's Hall of Fame. Bethune-Cookman, NFL, what have you. Wayne Allen, who was a dynamic running back for Bethune-Cookman back in the mid-'70s, and an outstanding football coach in his own right over in the Ocala area, who still is coaching now in Wildwood.
Right.
And then Marcia Pender, who was one of the legendary coaches
Indeed.
for women's basketball out of Dillard High School, where she coached for so many years in 1974. Ralph, I believe that's your class.
That's my class,
1974 grad of Bethune-Cookman University, Bethune-Cookman College then. And so they all went in. But the evening for me was watching Westine Lodge, the daughter of one Robert Bullet Bob Hayes of Florida A&M fame and Matthew W. Gilbert fame in Jacksonville, being inducted into that ceremony as well. And his daughter, though Bob Hayes was a rattler, his daughter, a big Wildcat. And Larry Little alluded to that throughout the night. But she did such an incredible job. It was a joyous evening to see all of those recipients, great people, deserving. And I applaud the Florida High School Athletic Association, because during the periods of segregation, there were 2 associations. One was the Florida High School Athletic Association, the all-white body, and then the OFIAA, the Florida Interscholastic Association, which was the all-black schools, just like we had all-black high schools back in the day. Mm-hmm. So it's so wonderful seeing these people who for so long went without getting their just due, now getting their flowers. And I can't say enough about Westine and how well she represented her dad, her family, and most of all, Wildcat Nation. And we were in the house, and I want her to know that. And I want Wildcat Nation.
You didn't take the picture, though.
Kudos, right. He says...
You didn't take the picture.
Well, she and I took a picture together.
That's not what she said.
So she says you have to come to Alabama to get the picture.
Is that what she said?
Alabama State.
Okay.
She said you got to come to Alabama.
I got to come. Okay, I know one was taken. So maybe I have to come up to Alabama again.
That's the only way you're going to get it.
Oh, my goodness. Boy,
she can't wait to homecoming, she said.
Homecoming. She can't wait to homecoming.
She can't wait to our homecoming to get it.
For some more good
She
food.
want to do something with it. Yeah, she want to do something with it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, we know how much she supports.
Yes,
Wildcat
definitely. And
at every turn.
It's great to, we took a picture with her at the Savannah State game, a big-time supporter of Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show and everything Wildcats. And, definitely. Even catching Ralph last year on the tailgate. She's the eye in the sky. She doesn't miss anything.
No, she doesn't miss anything.
Mr. Lodge is sitting by you at the Alabama State
saw
game.
That. I saw that.
Just so you know.
Just tell Mr. Lodge I want him to be calm.
Yeah, and Mr. Lodge, if you need to bring your earplugs.
That might be advisable.
Yes, definitely so. So, guys, it's just, it's great what's happening here in Daytona, and it's as quiet as it's kept. It's just great things happening here. We don't have a boastful coach. We don't have a guy, he's just, kind of guy, put your tool belt on and let's go to work. And that's what, and that's what it's all about. While we sit here and, there's some critiques and things of that nature. As Coach DJ said, we have the right guy, and that guy is moving this program in a great way. Our coach is Raymond Woody Jr. That is our coach.
Yeah.
And that's who, well respected. Let's take it there. So we all saw Phil Knight hug Dion before the game. They've kind of had a strange relationship coming down through the years and everything.
Yes,
they brought it back together. But that same camaraderie that Dion and Phil Knight shared is the same thing that Coach Woody and Phil Knight share. He was the recruiting coordinator there at Oregon, and we know how much Phil Knight is into Oregon. So, there are a lot of connections that are out there that we're working on. I know the biggest question that is one of the biggest questions out there: when are we going to have logos on the helmet? They will come soon enough. They will come soon enough. So that's what it comes down to. Just patience.
But more importantly, what we praying for now, because Coach Woody haven't been able to catch a break, we praying for him to catch a break.
Yeah, catch a break.
Yeah, we'll get the logos.
Yeah.
We just praying for him to catch a break.
We just need those players to wear them.
Yeah. We need to catch a break.
We need the players to wear them. So
absolutely. So
yeah,
we'll get there. We're almost there, actually.
Yeah. We're
guys, I had a chance to go watch. You're talking about the right guy for the job. I had a chance to go watch Mainland High Friday night against Mineola. Mainland High School is 5-0, and right now currently sits atop the football rankings of 3A suburban school.
Right.
And we were in a tussle. Mainland, my alma mater, was in a tussle with this school out of Mineola, Florida, over by Orlando. And this one kid was just, when you play Mainland, Mainland is a speedy team.
Right.
And this one kid was just going off on Mainland, and I was like, they had so much speed on the other team. Mainland was leading 27-6, and this team came all the way back to tie the game at 28.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed my phone. I said, well, who is this kid? And to show you what I'm talking about, as soon as I Google this kid's name, his name is Braylon North, Knauth. He's a senior, about 5'9", 170. He's a speedster, track star, football player. They call him El Chico Hands because he catches everything. And I started Googling him, and as I'm Googling him, my almost tears came in my eyes. I looked down to see college lists for where he might be going. Look at the two teams who've offered him first. Just look at
Appalachia State and Bethune-Cookman.
Literally, I'm saying, and we offered him way back in like April or May.
Yeah, but that's Coach Woody though.
Literally,
Coach Woody's all over.
Just a dynamic kid.
Definitely.
And that lets me know we're working hard. We're not trying to get people scraps. We're going after players that we feel can help us right now, and we're trying to sign them early.
I'll put it like this. This is only an off week for the players. We are out right now actively recruiting.
I can believe it. I can believe it. But that just, I was sitting by a Cookman guy. I said, look at me. I said, let me show you something. He said, we recruit. I said, you see it right there? You see it right there? I mean,
and we're going to see a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of it.
I mean, because we're going to start doing things that we hadn't been doing in the last 4 or 5 years, and that's recruiting in this area, Central.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This kid is a game changer. Anybody who was at Manglin's game
the other night,
they will tell you, this kid here is electric.
Guys, before we get off, I just want you to have, want to know if you have any closing words, and I'll reluctantly give the floor to Ralph. But he's happy. That's right. You have the floor, Ralph.
You know what I don't get? He said reluctantly.
Go ahead.
I was glad the two guys came on tonight, and I just wish we take this time and get healthy. I think we got all the pieces. We just got to get them all in one place at the same time, and I think we're going to get there. I'm happy where we are. I wish we was further up, but I'll take it because it takes time to build a house.
Definitely,
you can't build it overnight. It takes time. You got to get a good foundation.
And we don't want a modular. We don't want to, manufacture. We want to build from the ground up. And we got started late on building the ground up.
But we finally got the foundation.
Yes.
And basically, the stronger your foundation, the stronger your house is going to be. So we're there. Sometimes I can get impatient, but
you think? Do you think?
Pretty much.
And I know we're banged up, guys. We could not have come at a better time, as we've established that. But one of the things I take a lot of solace in, and you as well should, because you all go to practice with me. We got a lot of kids who've been practicing.
Yes.
And they've been. I'm not just talking about frontline players.
Right.
We got some players who have played some football for us, even in the spring game, who played well. And it's always the next man up mentality. But you want to be able to put somebody on the field who knows what they're doing.
Right. Have to.
And who has bought in.
Right.
And who can make plays for you. And I feel comfortable. I know you said we had 3 backs down that were on some type of injury after the game. Mm-hmm. And we got some guys, some young guys who've not been out there yet.
Who ready to show some flashes.
Ready to show what they can do. And a couple of them, I know, come from really great programs. We saw them in the spring. So it's great to know that you're practicing the right way. You're building depth. And so you're going to have some injuries part of the game. But how well are you preparing to have that next man up mentality and getting people ready to come into the game?
And we're still looking for some great news to come out. We're still praying and looking for some great news to, come out. There's things being worked on, like we said, behind the scenes that, some of those younger players, we hope during this downtime we get some people back from injuries. Just keep the faith. That's what it is. We're a faith-based school. You just have to keep the faith. And if we don't get those persons, we got to go with who we got pray for the best. Pray for the best.
And guys, we're literally at the end of this week. We're 2 weeks out from homecoming.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
that's pretty much mid-season.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a glorious homecoming.
Yes, it is.
Really feel it.
Yes, it is.
All the things that are being planned right now, and the pep rally at the football.
They had the stadium, concert, all the above.
That is going to be something to behold.
And then Spot 90, Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. Yeah. That's where you want to be for homecoming tailgate.
That's where it's going to be.
That's where you want to be at. Yeah, that's where you want to be at.
If you could just speak briefly, you mentioned it earlier about the NILs and what it means to the football team and to the college.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there was a write-up today even that it's transitioning to where some of these guys are even on their visits asking for a $5,000, and Saban was speaking to that.
Is this really what you want? to see football come
Right.
to.
And it's just like in my world, the whole sports agent bit. You know, before you sit down and talk to a guy, he might ask for for a meeting 5 to 10. So, yeah, and you might not even get the guy.
It's changing, and it's
yeah.
going to change the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got to be there. You got to be there.
Well, you get left behind.
Yeah, you got to be there.
You got to be there. I mean, you
be
might
there.
not agree with it.
It's so big in recruiting that yeah, so big. So
Wow.
but we'll cover more of that.
Has the game changed that?
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's changing.
It's changing daily.
For Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, I'm Darold Williams for the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday night on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Hail Wildcats.
Hail
Have a good
Wildcats.
night, blessed week, and enjoy our bye week. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.